All right, this is part two through the spirit, and we're gonna jump into it. I had to go find, um, the little screenshot I had took. But like I was saying, that they had the Holy Roman Empire, all right, which was in the west, all right, and then you had the eastern, part, which is what they would refer to as the east, which was going into the Byzantine Empire. These two kingdoms, they were prevalent at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But we really commonly refer on to the Byzantine Empire as being the successor. All right, but from what I've seen, that they both had an impact. But we're mostly dealing with the Byzantine Empire. All right, because I'm gonna show you. But I took a little screenshot here, and it says, I'm gonna read it. It says, these religions, because the two empires going into the Holy Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire, they had disagreements. They which lets you know that they were both prevalent at the same time. All right, one was in Constantinople and going into the Byzantine Empire, in that region, and then one was going into the Rome, Italy, out of that region. All right, but it says these religious disagreements were made worse by variety of political conflicts, particularly regarding the power of Rome. All right, Rome believed that the Pope, the religious leader of the Western Church. Now, this is going to the Holy Roman Empire when it speaks about the West. It says, Rome believed that the Pope and the religious leader of the Western Church should have authority over the patriarchs and the religious authority of the Eastern Church. When the Eastern Church it speaks about, it's really going into the Byzantine Church Empire. It says Constantinople, which represents the Byzantine, disagreed. Each church, right? So there was two churches. There was a church there, and there was a church, all right, in Constantinople. It says each church recognized their own leaders when the Western Church eventually excommunicated Michael Cecilius, if I'm saying that right, and the entire Eastern Church. So they were like, fuck these goddamn, fuck the Byzantine Empire and all the shit that they own. We gonna do our own thing. It says, and the Eastern Church retaliated by excommunicating the Roman Pope Leo III and the Roman Church with him. So there was a schism. You know, there was enmity there. So I just want to get into a little bit of it real quick. Just going into these two empires. And look at Joe Beasy doing some bullshit. All right, let's and then we're gonna get because there were these two kingdoms were I think I might have spelled that wrong, but these two kingdoms were coexisting at one time. As you can see, we're gonna go into a map. The purple representation of the Byzantine Empire, and then you got on the yellow, which representation of the Holy Roman Empire. Now, I do believe that I speak as a man, that the Purple Empire, yes, was ruled by Jakes. The Byzantine Empire was Jakes, or Jacob, the tribes of Israel. But I do believe the Yellow Empire was ruled by Jakes as well. But there was a time, I want to say, speak as a man, but approximately around the 1500s, 1600s, that or maybe even through the 1400s, but for sure 15, 1600s, that Esau Edom got back in there and started pushing this bullshit. All right. But as you can see, those two kingdoms there. Let's get into this. All right. So, as you can see, it says, although the two what I'm going into is the Byzantine Empire, because we understand that was supposed to be the successor of when the Western Roman Empire fell with the Edomite rulership, through Domitian. All right, Nerva and all that other shit. But then Constantine came through, with the Byzantine Empire. It says, although the two empires eventually relented and recognized each other's rulers as emperors, they never explicitly recognized the other as Roman, with the Byzantine referring unto the Holy Roman Empire, or Holy Roman Emperor Slovakia, as the emperor of the Franks, and later the king of Germany. All right. let's get into it. It says, what was the relationship between the Byzantine Empire and the Roman Empire? All right, because they coexisted for a time. All right, but the Byzantine Empire went down first. All right, and that's why I believe that the Holy Roman Empire, or the Roman Empire, it was conquered, or the Edomites came back in there and got back in there. All right, and took over that rulership. All right, we know that during the time of Charlemagne of the Holy Roman Empire, that he was in there and he was doing his thing. But eventually, I do believe, through succession, or however it worked, that Esau Edom came back in there. All right, and the Byzantine Empire, it was destroyed, but it lasted 1,000 years though. It says the Byzantine Empire was the eastern continuation. As you can see, it speaks about it being a continuation. All right, it says the Byzantine Empire was the eastern continuation of the Roman Empire after the Western Roman Empire fell in the 5th century. It lasted from the fall. It lasted from the fall of the Roman Empire until the conquest of 1453. The Ottomans were Edomites. All right, conquest in 1453, and that's during the time of the 1400s, is in 1500s, going into the 16. That's when Esau Edom was on. He was on. That was the Renaissance period, the rebirth of the way of the Edomite. You know, the Edomite way of thought was put back into the earth around the 1400s, 1500s. Man, it started exploding around that time. All right, I just want to get a little bit. See what else it says. All right, but anyway, yeah. So the Holy Roman, not the Holy Roman, but the Byzantine Empire was that rulership of Jake during that 1,000 year period, and that was in. Let me see. Let's go to the scriptures again. Let's read verse 3. We're gonna start at 3, and it says, and bound him 1,000 years. All right, so the end of verse 2, it says, and bound him 1,000 years. All right, this is a time where Esau Edom was in that Ooga Booga state. He was in that caveman state, and he was pushed, all right, into the caves, into the Caucasus, into the Caucasus Mountains of Russia. All right, he was a slave in the rulership of Jake, over there during that Byzantine Empire time. All right, and there was also Moors and things of that nature over there. All right, and Moors, or what you refer to as I think I got it here in my. I took a screenshot of what that was. Slovakia. I do believe, right. It says Moor. It says North African Berber, one of the race dwelling in Berberi. All right, and the we had Jakes that fled to Northern Africa, Western Africa, all right, during the time of 70 A.D. All right, and during other various periods of time where they fled into Northern Africa, and West Africa, because they can blend in with those Hamites. It says let me see. It says, I'm gonna jump down. It says, from Greek Moros, perhaps a native name, or else cognate with the Moros, black. All right, so Moor just meant black, man, but sometimes they refer to it as anybody that's a Moor is somebody that pushes the Islamic faith, and that could be true through the spirit, but also as well they were being called Moors just because they had that dark complexion as well. So you could not even worship the Muslim faith or whatever, and you would still be called a Moor. All right. It says also down here. It says also applied to the Arabian conquerors of Spain. All right, and this is true because Jake was a part of that. The so-called Moors, the so-called Israelite, were a part of the conquerors of Spain. That's how we got up in there. All right, so we got up in there, through the Byzantine Empire, ruling there. We was all up in Europe doing our thing, man. All right, but the so-called Arabian conquerors, which were also, had Jakes in the midst of it, also went over there, in Spain, doing through the Strait of Gibraltar. All right, and and conquered those Germanic nations, which are Edomites that were dwelling in those places, right? And they pushed them back into the eastern parts of Europe, all right. And they were made slaves. They were put down, what I'm saying, and they pushed them to the eastern parts of Europe, over there, into the Caucasus, into the mounts or the steppes of Russia. All right, and that's where they was. What I'm saying. But some of them, well, the majority of them was there. But and whoever else, they were probably enslaved, or put to work. But it says that the Arabic conquerors of Spain, being dark people in relations to Europeans. All right, their name in the Middle Ages was a synonym for Negro. All right. So, we had Moors that wasn't, or Israelites that wasn't pushing Islam, but they were still called Moors. And then you had Moors that you had certain Israelites that was pushing, that was on that Islam shit, and they were referred to as Moors as well. But what I'm trying to say is that Moors, or dark skinned men, were in Europe. All right, they was ruling. All right, and Esau was put down. He had the chain on him for the 1,000 year period. So Jake, he was in there being a Moor. He was in there, being a Christian. He was in there, all that. Jake was there. All right, and they left their remnants of paintings, and their architecture, and there's certain things that they did while they had rulership of Europe. All right. So let's I want to get some. If I can just scroll here, I can get some. I thought I had some pictures going into. Just going into certain things here. You got the real Mozart here. Because Esau came back during the Renaissance period, which we're gonna get into, and he started doing iconoclasm and start whitewashing. Whitewashing goes into making the dark images that were in Europe, Russia and all of these places, make them white. All right, so the later generations of Edomites would think, oh, but we was over here ruling, we was so great. No, those were just Israelites that you guys lied and painted yourselves as, all that. Let me see what else. All right. Damn, I only got one picture. So Jake was in that region, all right, but it was already prophesied for that Esau Edom was gonna come out of that 1,000 year period, and then he was gonna take down Jake out of those regions, all right, through prophecy, all right, and Jake was going into bondage at the time, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit later, but yeah, I'm just showing that we was over there. We had ties, man. We got the King of the Scots, Irish, the British. These terms were used to coin Israelites. But now that you think about it in these times, it's referring unto these damn Edomites, man. But we was over there before. Well, I guess you could say that the Japhites were first, but we had ties, all right, unto Europe, man. All right, we was over there ruling for a time period of 1,000 years, man, through the Byzantine Empire, man. All right, and through the Moors, all right. And let me see. Yeah, that's basically it. Now all this is Europe right here. But we was over there in England. We had all this on lock, but we started being concentrated during the time of I want to say the 1600s, to this little piece right here. All right, and Esau Edom was coming back into rulership, and Jake was being put into captivity, slavery, killed, and things of that nature, because Esau Edom had to play out his blessings. So, when you think about England and things of that nature, you think about Edomites and shit like that. But we was over there, man. King James was over there, ruling out of those places. Let me try to get the picture of King James somewhere. But if I can't, it's in here. But I'm not finna be trying to find it if I can't find it. So, whatever. So let's go back. Lord willing, this is being edifying. All right, but just to make the point that we was ruling over there for a period of 1,000 years, man, through the Byzantine Empire, all right, through Constantinople, through Constantine, all right, they was going off, but still we ruled, over there before, the transatlantic slave trade, before all that, man. It says in verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal. Right, the bottomless pit is Europe, so they was like I said, they was pushed into the eastern parts of Europe. All right, and they were made slaves. All right, they were made subject servants unto Jake, who was over there ruling in Europe. All right, and all throughout Europe, Spain, Portugal, England, all that, roundabout. And it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, shut him up, and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more. All right, and that's right, because he was in that ooga booga caveman slave state. All right, and so he couldn't deceive. All right, this is prophecy. This is what the Lord wanted to happen unto Esau, Edom. All right, and it says that he should deceive the nations no more. All right, because what does that mean? That he should deceive the nations no more. That he was, which means that when he was going to be loosed, he was going to come out lying and deceiving, and being all unrighteous, doing in that spirit of the devil. And that's why it speaks about him being the devil in verse 2. He's a deceiver. He's a liar. All right, so he got out of the damn. He got out of well, we're gonna read it. It says he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. All right, and the Byzantine Empire went down. All right, and the inhabitants of of Europe, Spain, and things of that nature, Esau Edom started to regain power. Because why? Because it was prophesied. It was prophesied for us to rule. We had 1,000 years of rulership, and Esau was going to come out of that, and he was going to start ruling. And now he's notable. He's the notable ruler of these lands that Jake once held. All right, because it was prophecy. It was prophecy for him to return again. All right, to deceive, man, to work his wickedness. All right. It says that he should be fulfilled. After that, he must be loose for a little season. And right now, through the Spirit of Yahawashi Mashal, we are in that little season in which he is loose. He's still loose to do his wickedness. All right, but he's gonna be destroyed. All right, I want to focus on that third. Focus on 3. All right. I wanted to get. Right, I wanted to go back into these pictures, all right, because he was, well, let's hold on, let's go back. All right, it says that he should deceive the nation no more until the 1,000 years be fulfilled. So, all right, so where was he, what happened after the 1,000-year period? The Renaissance, man. He came back into power, like I said, and he started whitewashing and started iconoclasm, the darker images of Europe and Russia. All right, we still got the Russian icons, and there's still pictures in Europe and things of these natures. Certain Moscows, certain paintings and stuff that illustrated that we was in that land and that we were ruling. But like I said, Esau Edom got back into rulership. All right, and he started disposing of the certain art. All right, and disposing of the people and putting us into captivity. And I wanted to get a precept. Let's start right here. It says, this is a screenshot I took of a brother. He made an excellent video. But what I want to read is, it says, starting at the first verse, it says, starting with the Spanish Inquisition of 1478, right? Esau Edom was coming back into prominence. Esau Edom was fulfilling his blessing, deceiving, all right, and coming back into rulership, all right, because Esau Edom had to take Jake down out of Europe, out of the Byzantine Empire, out of all that, all right, because he was going to have rulership of those lands and things of that nature during this time, all right. So there was no way for us to continue to hold rulership. King James 1611, he had rulership of England and things of that nature for a time, but now when you go is going to be Edomites, all right, because it was time for him to, and his descendants to be taken out of power, to be put in captivity, all right, to be made slaves, to basically to suffer, all right, because that's just what the Lord had written. It says, and it came to pass. It says, starting with the Spanish Inquisition of 1478, Salaki, the white European French Franciscan Brotherhood of the Catholic Church planned to expel all African, really Israelite or black Moors, Israelites, and Muslims. All right, and they had Ishmael over there, but it says from out of Spain. All right, so we was ruling in Spain, man, through the Moors and things of that nature. But those were Jakes. All right, so we had ties. We was over there. We was doing our thing. It says included in their plans was to work and gain world power and to destroy the evidence of black people's domination, well, Israelites' domination of the world. Because we was over there during that time. It says in Israelite people's achievements, and to destroy and to cover up all the ancient records, books, monuments, statues, and the things that prove that so-called black people were the originators of all great civilizations throughout the four corners of the earth. So they sought out to be like, all right, we gotta deface the images, we gotta whitewash, we gotta take all this shit out of Europe and replace it with our images, because we're the devil. They were just doing what was on their spirit to do, what the Lord put on their spirit to do. All right. And I'm going to get another one here. All right. Just go into how, it was time through the spirit for Jake to come out of that rulership, or to come out of, certain places within that European region. It took slower. Some were faster, some were, quicker. But Jake was removed from these places, and they were sent to the colonies. They were sent to serve out a captivity. You know what I'm saying? Through Esau Edom coming back into rulership, man, using his witchcraft, pushing the image of Caesar Borgia, all right, and using that so-called white doctrine of discovery, all that. He was coming back into power, all right. So we had to go back into we had to be, while he's rising up, we had to be put down. All right. So that's the point I'm making, because it was prophecy. All right. So these things can be fulfilled today where we are. It says, in order to satisfy the Queen Elizabeth of Spain, King Manuel of Portugal declared a holy ordinance expelling the Jews and the Moors from his country in 1496. It says the Jews were expelled from Spain and Portugal. Now, this is where we were, and where did they have? If they were expelled from there, where did they go? It says the Jews were expelled from Portugal and were scattered throughout the Mediterranean coast. Is it estimated over 100,000 Jews departed from Spain during the persecution and expulsion. Some of the Jews went into northern and western Africa. These Jews would innocently go into African countries, most of all because of less persecution, and they could assemble themselves easily among the Hamites. Basically, it says blacks, but the Hamites. All right. And that's all I want to read on that, man, right there. If you want to, you could pause it and, read the rest of it if you would like to. But that's the main point I wanted to get into. So Esau Edom was coming back into power, and he was getting rid of Jake, and I got another little picture. But Jake had rulership over there. Jake was there though. Let me get another. Bear with me. Right. I took this screenshot. It says, when was the Moors expelled from Spain? Like I said, we had, they was going off. They might have been in that Islam shit, or they might have not have been. It is what it is. But point is, they were over there and they was rooted. They had inhabitants over there, but they were expelled. It says on January the 2nd, 1492, King Boabdil surrendered Granada, right, which was a Moorish stronghold in Spain. All right, so like it says, Granada to the Spanish forces, Esau, And in 1502, the Spanish crown ordered all Muslims forcibly to convert to Christianity. The next century saw a number of persecutions, and in 1609, the last Moors still adhering to Islam were expelled from Spain. All right, so they got up in there, man. All right, they got Jacob out of there, man. Now I want to get this. This is another screenshot that I took. It says our ancestors were deported from their own lands. We was over there in Europe and things of that nature, in Ireland, to the colonies in the West Indies, like Montserrat. All right, and I want to get one more. All right, because we was being taken out of that place, man. We was being taken. All right. It says here Cromwell and Apollo, which were Edomites, and they're it says Edomites deported Israelites from the tribe of Benjamin to Montserrat. Now I want to go into what that is because it speaks. I got two. You know, but that should go into South America. We're gonna look it up though, just real quick for edification's sake. Oh shit, my bad. Mazer. I think I probably misspelled the fuck out of that. Let me see. Hmm. I thought this was hmm. Okay. Basically, they were sent over there to a colony, man. Really, you said to during the time. So they were basically made slaves, whether they wanted to admit it or not. But it seems it was under British control, all right. And we understand that we were the British, you know, or we were called that. But Esau Edom got up in there, all right, and start displacing our people, all right, because it was prophecy, all right, prophecy for them to go down, all right, and to be removed through the spirit out of those lands. So that's basically what I wanted to get on that, man. A little over then. All right, let's keep going. We're gonna jump, and now we're finna really to continue on with what I want to say. You want to jump to verse 7, but what I'm gonna go right through and I'm gonna read 4 because this is not gonna take long for me to explain this. It says, "And I saw thrones, and they which sat upon them, and judgments were given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi Mashiach." And this is going into the martyrs, those of whom are gonna hold fast unto the name of the Lord Yahawashi Mashiach, all right, being the hopeful elect, and they're gonna die. All right, for the testimony of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, for the witness of Yahushai. All right, they're not gonna bitch up, and they ain't gonna take the chip. All right. Now some of us might be in this lot, and there's gonna be other brothers who don't die. So it is what it is. It is whatever the Lord put upon whatever brother to go through. But in the end, you're gonna be resurrected anyway, so it doesn't matter. Through the Spirit, we're all gonna be put in those new bodies. It says It says, for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast nor his image. All right. And they didn't receive his mark. It says, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads for in their hands. For they lived and reigned with Hamashiach Yahawashi 1,000 years. And now this 1,000 year period is going into the first 1,000 years in which we're going to be setting up the kingdom. We're going to be ruling. We're going to be incorruptible. We're going to be in our celestial bodies on earth, ruling. That's what this 1,000 year period is talking about. It's not talking about anything else outside of that. All right, we're going to be ruling with Hamashiach. And that this 1,000 year period does not mean that, oh, well, after 1,000 years, then we're going to have to give up the rulership. No, this is just representation of the first 1,000 year period, because our kingdom is a kingdom according to Daniel. Let's go into it. Daniel 4. Let's go to Daniel 4. Damn. And then we'll come back to the Revelation. Lord willing, this is all making sense. I know I'm kind of everywhere, but, it is what it is, man, at the end of the day. But let's go into Daniel. We're going to jump to the point. Salaki, hold on. Oh, shit. Okay, hold on. Goddamn. Great. 1,000 fucking precepts. Man, what in the hell? Alright, we can just do a Google search. I know what the precept I want, but I'm not finna do all that. Got time for all that. We're gonna go into it. So we just a precept, Lord willing. God damn. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I guess. I thought it was Daniel's 4. That's weird. There's another one too. Let's get one more. God damn. Thought there was one in Luke. Not Luke, but in Daniel's the 7th chapter. But whatever. It says this is Daniel, the 2nd chapter, 44th verse. It says in the days of these kings, all right, what kings? The four beasts that Daniel saw that were going to come into rulership of the heathen nations before our kingdom. All right, so that was going to be the Neo-Babylonian Empire, or the Assyrian Babylonian Empire, and then it was going to be the Persians and the Medes, Greeks, and then the Romans, and then from the Romans, was gonna have a deadly wound that was gonna be healed, and it was gonna come back in the form of the little horn, which is America, and they was gonna rule with the authority and the power that the Roman Empire ruled with. So we're in that revived Roman Empire through the spirit right now, known as America, known, in this power system that is going forth in the earth. It says in verse 44, Salakia. It says, and in that days, and in the day that these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And this is what we're going into. So that first 1,000 year period is just what it is. We're gonna be immortal. So we're gonna have the heathens working and building up the kingdom for that first 1,000 years. And ruling over them, teaching them the laws, being priests. You know, doing our thing. And it says, so the kingdom ain't never going to be destroyed. So this ain't a point where, when we get the kingdom, we only got 1,000 years to enjoy it. That's not biblical. That's not what the scriptures is saying through the spirit. All right. So, and that would suck. Why the fuck would we get the kingdom for 1,000 years and then we got to go back into captivity after 1,000 years? I'll be pissed. I'll be very upset. But that's not what the scriptures is saying, But it says, we would have to fight some other, nah, bro. It says, set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and a kingdom shall not be left to other people, because it's going to be given unto the children of Israel, because we are the kingdom. And I'm going to get a precept on that. It says, shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. All right, so that's what I wanted to get on that. Hopefully, this is Luke 17:21. It says, neither shall they say, lo here or lo there. Behold, the kingdom of the Most High is within you. So the Israelites make up the kingdom, bro. So we are the kingdom. So there ain't gonna be no kingdom of heaven that no one's gonna enter into, because we represent it, the Israelites. All right, we're gonna be in the Lord's kingdom, man, because we make up the Lord's kingdom. All right, but it's still gonna be a physical place and on earth, that we're gonna dwell. All right, but we make up the principle of the kingdom. All right, the kingdom of the Most High is within you. The Lord is gonna dwell within us. All right, and He's gonna put that second covenant, and we're gonna be perfect. All right, and when we're perfect, which means we're not gonna go off, nor are we gonna sin. All right, through the Spirit, we're not gonna fall. There's no nation that's gonna rise up against us, to put us down, or to let me get another precept. This is Zephaniah. Actually, let me see what this Micah is talking about. All right, cool. Now this is Micah 4:1. It says, but in the last days it shall come. Now this is going into the kingdom. It says, in the last days, that the mountain of the house of the Lord, which goes into a government, because the government is going to consist of the hopeful elect. First, it's going to consist of Yahawashi, King David, and then the hopeful elect. The first fruits, all right, in the beginning. It says, shall be established at the top of the mountain. So our government is going to be above all governments, that's going to be upon the earth. We're going to have all power. All right. There won't be any other government or power or anything like that outside of the rulership of the Israelites, because there won't be no need for it, because we're going to rule everything. We're going to rule the whole earth and far beyond that. It says, shall be established at the top of the mountain. It says, and it shall be exalted above all hills, and the people shall flow into it. It says, and many nations is going to the heathens shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, Yahweh, to the house of the God, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth from of Zion, and the word of the Lord Yahweh from Jerusalem. All right, and that's how the Lord said that we were going to be priests, because we are going to have to teach the nations, in our incorruptible celestial bodies, how to keep the laws and what to do and what not to do. And when they fuck up and when they sin, they go off. We're gonna be there. We're gonna fuck them up. And when they do the right thing, we're gonna be there to see it, because we're gonna be immortal. It says in verse 3, and he shall judge many people. He shall judge among many people. All right. And it says, and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords, because there ain't gonna be no weaponry, ain't gonna be no fighting, ain't gonna be none of that. It says, and their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. All right, because a pruning hook is an instrument of cultivation or of farming, of agriculture, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. So they're gonna be working. They ain't gonna be fighting. They're gonna be working. They're gonna be building up the kingdom. It says, nation shall not lift up a sword against another nation, or against nations. So ain't gonna be no more wars. Ain't gonna be no more fighting when the Israelites are put into their right order. All right, the scriptures speak about in Proverbs that when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. All right, so the wicked are bearing rule right now, and the people are fucking pissed. All right, but when we get into rulership and they understand after 1,000 years of getting destroyed and beat down, they're gonna be like, all right, well, we're better off than being under Esau, Edom. It's better off to be under the Israelites, the people of God, and they're gonna see that, because we're gonna be like unto the Most High Yahawashi. We're gonna be great, and they're gonna have no choice but to acknowledge our greatness and to acknowledge that we are the rightful rulers and the rightful heirs to the promise, and and to the inheritance and the good things of the Lord, man. And they're just gonna have to understand and bow down. It says their swords into plowshares and their pruning hooks, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So there ain't gonna be no more wars, bro. What are you talking about, man? As far as I'm finna get the Ezekiel thing, but in the last days, this is going into when the kingdom is set up, man. Ain't gonna be none of this. It's foolishness. As far as we gonna be in our angelic forms, and then we're gonna have to go and battle Esau again, like, oh, he came back. Like, no. But it says in verse 4, the point I'm gonna stop. It says, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord Yahweh has spoken. And so this is already set in stone what's finna happen. It just gotta play out. The Lord's movie gotta play out, and we being Lord, likened unto his actors, we're gonna have to play out our parts through the Spirit, even unto death. But none's gonna make us afraid, man. We're gonna be good. We ain't gonna have to worry about all that, other shit. All right. Now this is going into the period of 1,000 years when we got these heathens and Esau under captivity. Going into the 4th verse, that Micah 4, is a precept to that, man. We're gonna be good. Now it says in verse 5, and the dead, and the rest of the dead, which is going into the heathen nations, live not again. All right, until the 1,000 years were finished. All right, so we're gonna be putting hell on these heathens, Hamites, these Ammonites, these Moabites, and all these other ites outside of Israelites. We're going to be putting hell on them and teaching them the ways, and teaching them how not to go off, and things that they still going to go off. But we're going to make known what is required of the heathens, how they got to serve us, and how they got to pay tribute, and what they got to do, to not get destroyed, basically. It says this is the first resurrection, and we want to be a part of the first resurrection, consisting of the hopeful elect. All right, it says in verse 6, blessed and holy is he that have part of the first resurrection. Of such, the second death is a representation of the lake of fire. Not hell, but it's going into the nuclear fire that's gonna be, in the destroyed parts of the whole America in and of itself is gonna be destroyed. All right, but other various parts of the earth is also going to be destroyed. But those parts that are destroyed outside of America is going to be built back up. Like Israel is going to be built back up, but America is not going to be built back up. America is the home of the second death. All right, which is going into that nuclear overthrow, that nuclear fire. It's going to be fired off from the other various nations that have nuclear capabilities on the on Earth. I brought it out. What the bear is the feet of it. Russia is going to be a pivotal main component to contributing to the lake of fire because they got nuclear weapons and they got more nuclear weapons than all the other nations. They got them, but the other nations got them as well. The ones that they're being guards unto, they have them as well, but they don't got as many nuclear nukes as Russia does, and Russia's gonna use the bear is gonna use those weapons to destroy the whore, which is America. All right. It says, but shall be the priests of the Most High, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. All right, we're gonna reign with the Lord. This is gonna be the first 1,000 years with the Lord. We're gonna be doing our thing. Jump into the 7th verse. Well, jump into 7th verse, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, which we're in that period where Satan has been loosed. He's went around the world. He's lied. He's deceived. He's used the image of Caesar Borgia. He said the men of the Lord look like him. God look like him. God is him. God, the Lord is of his nation, which is cap. He said the angels were little white faggot looking babies, cap. He said all these things. He's blasphemed against the Lord Yahawashi. All right. He's running around the world pushing Christianity, pushing, bullshit, lies and shit. But now the Lord is waking up the children of Israel, and we're not going to stay upon him that smote. All right. We're coming to our understanding, in these last days. All right. And returning unto the Lord Yahawashi, praying after the Lord, for mercy and forgiveness. All right. And to get us out of the hand of this devil, just like, during the time of Egypt, the Lord's going to rescue the children of Israel. But this time he's going to rescue the elect of the children of Israel. All right. The ones that have faith, from the beginning, because faith is a gift through the Spirit. But it says, and Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. All right. He was loosed, and he went all throughout Europe and the rest of the world on bullshit. He was on demon time, Slakia. And I'm going to read a little bit of verse 8. It says, he shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth. And that's what he did. That's what he did through his renaissance, through his rebirth, all right, through his basically the Edomite Esau way of thinking, with that sword, deceiving people through his monetary financial system, through fiat currency, deceiving people through his religious means, of Caesar Borgia, Serapis Christus, all that bullshit, the false prophet, the Roman Catholic Church deceiving, not teaching correct doctrine. But this is the Edomites we're talking about, so we don't expect them to be righteous. They're wicked. They were set up to be wicked. So Esau just went out into the world and just started spreading his wickedness in the world, in the nations bought into it. All right, and so now Esau Edom has control of the whole earth. All right, under the 13 blood families, going into the Gettys, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and all these these families. All right, that have the wealth and the control of the earth at this current point in time. The elites of this kingdom, the Amalekites, Esau. It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog. This is going to Russia. To gather them to battle, the number of whom is as the sands of the sea. And that's going into Gog's and Magog's nuclear arsenal. All right. I can read verse 9, and that's gonna be it. Then I'm gonna go real quick. I don't want to make this video long. I feel like I've hit the points for real. But I want to go into Ezekiel 38 and jump to the point on that. It says, and they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about in the beloved city, and fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. This is going to how the Lord Yahawashi Shah is going to come with the chariot fire, and he's going to come with the nuclear ICBM fire. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire of brimstone, where the beast, all right, going into NATO and the EU, and the false prophet going into the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church and things of that nature, shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. All right. Right. So that's what I wanted to get on that. All right. So Lord Yahawashi Shah is going to come and destroy Esau's whole everything, is his power system, you know. But like I said, America in and of itself is the only place that's going to be, completely destroyed. All the other places that are destroyed through chariot fire and through missiles and whatever, through whatever conflicts, war, are going to be built back up. Like Britain, it's going to be built. It's going to be built back up. Europe, if it's destroyed, it's going to be built back up. And other various parts of the earth are going to be renewed and built back up. Not by us, by the heathens actually, and we're going to get into that. But America, all 50 states, is going to be a lake of fire. It's going to be on fire. It's going to be destroyed. All right. So hopefully that's clear. Let's go into Ezekiel 38 real quick. And 11. This is going into, how Russia's going to come against Israel and America ultimately. And we're going to jump right to it because this is Ezekiel 38 and 10. And it says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think of evil thought, which is what? Destroy America. Push the button. Drop the nuclear missiles on their ass. That's what these, Magog and these other allied nations unto Magog, the guard unto him, is going to do. All right. This is referring unto, this is a prophecy that has yet to come to pass, but it will come to pass soon. This is going into World War III, basically, if you can receive it. All right. It says in verse 11, and thou say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest. All right. This is referring unto America because, all of the United States of America, because America is a place of unwalled villages. They don't have walls. They're not properly defended. They got borders, but they don't, those aren't walls though. If you want to go from one state to another, or one state 5 states over, you could do it. All you have to do is drive, and all you would probably come to is toll bridges and things of that nature. But that's it. There ain't no walls connecting. You can go from one state all the way to the next, all the way to the farthest end of the other state by just driving hours and hours and shit. It ain't no walls, there's nothing stopping you. So this is America that it's referring to. The wall of unland, the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them at rest, because these Americans, through the Spirit, are very proudful, and they are at rest because they don't believe that nothing would dare happen unto America. But it's prophesied that this place will be destroyed. So that in and of itself is going to be put to the test. We'll see how long that you Babylonians are going to stay at rest. It says that dwell in safety, and all of them without walls, having neither bars nor gates. It says in verse 12, all right, And in our kingdom, we're gonna have bars and we're gonna have gates. All right, it speaks about that, which I'm finna get, and that's finna be my last precept in Revelation 22. I do believe it's Revelation 23. It says to spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle, goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. All right, so basically they're gonna come up against this place and destroy it. All right, they're gonna take a spoil. All right, if you will. All right, going down into Ezekiel 38:19, it says, "For in my jealousy and the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day shall there be a great shaking in the land of Israel." Why? Because Israel is going to get hit with nuclear missiles as well. All right, they're going to be destroyed. But Israel, like I said, the only place that's not going to be built back up is America. But Israel, even though it's going to be destroyed, it's going to be cleansed through fire, nuclear fire in the chariots. Then it's going to be built back up. It says, so that the fish of the seas and the fowls of heaven and the beasts of the field and all the creepy things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down. Now, what could do this? Chariot fire and the missiles, nuclear missiles, right? Because this is what the Lord has intended for this place. It says, and the mountains shall be thrown down, the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. All right, and then after the Lord, allows the Romans, not the Romans, the Russians to destroy the land of Israel and to fuck up America. The Lord is going to turn against Gog, which is the Russians, which are Edomites as well, and he's going to fuck them up. So, but the point is, the purple boys were speaking about how this is referring onto the kingdom, but it's not. All right, and they said that uh that Ezekiel was talking about when it speaks about the walls. It was talking about how that's going to be the walls of our house and things of that nature. But point is, what I'm saying is, this is not talking about in the kingdom. This is talking about this is not even happened yet. This is a prophecy that's going to come to pass soon, but it is not talking about in the kingdom. All right, and it says the point is, he was saying, like I said, this was supposed to be in the kingdom. So is our kingdom not going to have walls and things of that nature? We're not going to have gates? That's not true. Let's go into it. And then that's basically going to be the end of it, because I feel like I hit all the points. Lord willing, if I, went off on anything, brothers will watch the video and get back to me and be like, well, brother, you could have this right here. But I think I hit everything. But I wanted to go into, it might be Revelation 21. Yeah, because this is going into the tree of life. Trying to. All right. This is just start at 12. It says, and had a wall great. Yeah, this is going to the kingdom. So we're in our kingdom. We're gonna have walls. So whatever he's talking about is he going off. It says, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates. All right, and the gates at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon were the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. And on the east and three gates, in the north three gates, and on the south three gates, and of the west three gates. The wall of the city had 12 foundations, and the name of the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb, Yahawashi, says in verse 15, and he talked with me and had a golden reed to measure the city and the gates thereof and the wall thereof. It says, and the city lieth foursquare, and the length of it is large berith. And he measured the city with the reed 12,000 furlongs. The length of the breadth and height of it are equal. It says verse 17, and he measured the wall thereof 144 cubits according to the measurement of a man that is of the angel. And it says, and the building of the wall of it was of jasper. So we're gonna have walls. Okay. It said of jasper, and the city was pure gold like unto clear glass. So this is going into the majesty of the kingdom. It's gonna be beautiful. But I wanted to get another point, you know. Okay. And it says, I'm start at 24. It says, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings in the earth do bring their glory unto it. So the nations are going to be subject unto Israel. They're going to be constantly bringing shit to us and their daughters, spices, gold, silver, all type of shit. The heathens are going to be perpetually trying to please us all the time. All right, because we're going to be the gods of the earth. We're literally going to be gods. All right. And the nations which are of them, which are saved, because the nations are going to be saved to enjoy our righteous rulership. All right. They're going to rejoice at the righteous rulership that's upon the earth. All right, it's going to be totally different from what's under Esau. All right, the people are mourning on the Esau Edom's rulership, but they're not going to do the same under our rulership, because our rulership is going to be directly under Yahawashi, and we're going to usher and do exactly how the earth should be done, because the earth right now is under unprofitable management. Okay, and it says, and the kings of the earth do bring. It says the kings of the earth do bring honor and glory unto it. They're constantly gonna be in subject and bringing us goodies. It says in verse 25, and the gates of it shall not be shut. So we're gonna have walls and gates. So Purple Boy is on some bullshit. It says in gates, and it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there. Or it says, and the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there. And it says in verse 26, and they shall bring the glory and the honor of the nations unto it. All right, so we're gonna be being brought their substance, man, and their goodly things. All right. So with all that being said, I want to say shalom into the next video. Lord willing, all this kind of made sense. I know I was kind of everywhere with it, but I tried to piece it all together through the spirit. But like I said, this was just impromptu, as far as just going into it, just touching on it. Correcting where they went off at, simply because our kingdom is gonna have walls. It is gonna have gates. All right, as far as the kingdoms goes, and as far as the 2,000-year periods, one is representation of, like I said, the rulership. Well, I think the first one's going into the downfall of the rest of the Roman Empire, going into Edom's system as far as Roman the Roman supremacy that went down, and Jake got up in there during the Byzantine Empire for 1,000 years. So during that 1,000 years, the Edomites were in a fucked up state. They were in the Ooga Booga caveman, fucked up, can't even bathe state. All right, and then after that, Esau Edom was prophesied to come back, put Jake under subjection, put Jake down, all right, and come back and rule. All right, it was a trading places, if you will. All right, so that he can fulfill prophecy in these times, because the scriptures does say that Esau Edom is the end of the world. So Esau Edom would have to have rulership, so that had to happen. We had to go down, the Moors and everything. They had to go down so Esau Edom can do his thing, and so the Lord's prophecy can continue to keep going. So with all that being said, I want to say shalom. All right, until the hopeful elect, Lord willing, and until the next video.